Can you hear me now?
Yes, Haarika, I can hear you.
Is my voice breaking?
Perfectly all right, Haarika.
Is it good now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, hello everyone. This is Haarika Thummuri, and I am currently working at Deloitte as a customer relationship manager. So, I am a 2019 passed out in electronics, and I studied in Vagdevi College of Engineering. So I kind of graduated in 2019, and then uh, I joined in a startup called Stumax, which is basically it's a student-based company. Okay, so when I was in my college, that particular company uh, I entered there, and that is the particular company that came to my college for the interns and stuff. And that's how I kind of joined or grew interest in the company and joined after knowing the what is the intentions of this startup, especially and all. So what I used to do there is I was a business development manager over there. I used to handle clients at the same time students. So all the BTech colleges that are there in the Hyderabad, I used to go to the colleges. I used to pick up students, and I used to, kind of take students for the internships. And then we back then we had this thing called Campus Avengers, where where we used to go to colleges and pick up students for uh, you know uh, for the marketing activities and all, for different roles actually. So I used to have 15 to 20 students under me. Mm, so that's how that thing has worked back there. So I did that for an year. So what I used to particularly do there is, there are many companies which are based on students, there are educational consultancies. There are there is a company called Casio. We all know Casio. Casios are electronic calculators we use in first year or second year. So it is completely based on students and all. So what we used to do is, companies like that used to come to us, and we have student data. I mean, student base. We are actually a student based startup, and we have students. So that's how we used to bridge students and students and the companies and the third party companies. So we used to act as a bridge between them. What I particularly used to do is, I used to talk to the clients of the company, and then uh, okay, can you see me now? Yes. So what I used to do is, I used to talk to the I used to take the deliverables of the my client's company, and then I used to give it to the students and make sure that they are being met in a proper way and all. So that's what my job is. But since it's a startup, it was just not restricted to the doing the same work. Okay, it was always, we used to do always the out of box works over there. We used to mm, go to the colleges and conduct events. There is this one event called faculty we conducted over there for it's not an NGO, but it's a company where they used to share this proper factual information to the students, just in order to make sure. We have so much of fake news in this 21st century, and in order to prevent that, particular company called up, and you know uh, kind of started this event, and we held it in different colleges, and we selected students, and then we uh, you know uh, announced the winners and stuff, and then we made them into a Telangana Cell of Innovation. We used to do all these things. Since it's a startup, there was so much to grow and so much to learn and so much to work upon. It's not just like, okay, she did business development manager, she used to manage finances and stuff. It's not just one work we used to do. So there I gained lots of experience, not just professionally but personally, how to handle people, how to manage soft skills. When we say soft skills, we think that it is something that is learned theoretically or by going to a CRT class. It's not learned like that. Only when you have those practical exposure, practical experience, it is more into that comes more I mean, that makes more sense when it is practically experienced. So that is what I feel. So that's all I did there for a year till May 2020. I did there, and then after that immediately it was lockdown and stuff. But what I wanted is I wanted a certain change in my job role. I wanted to taste how an MNC works and how the proper MNC works like or looks like, or kind of things I wanted. So that's when I applied for Amazon. So when I applied for Amazon, there were like, since it was I applied somewhere around May last week, somewhere around this time, and it was more like almost 5,000 to 6,000 applicants were there, since so many lost their jobs. And Amazon was that one company where it opened lots of jobs, and the competition was so huge. It was all online, but it was so huge. So I applied in naukri.com, and I just submitted my resume, and then they invited me for an online test, which again consisted of two things. The first set of questions were completely for it's a basic English grammar test. Okay, so Amazon basically tests the basics of everything. It's not just about English or maths or quant or reasoning. It's not just about that. It tests the basics, whether you're really good at basics or not. So what they did is they have tested me in my English. It was more like sentence completion, sentence correction, and stuff. So the first part consisted of nearly 40 questions, or maybe 30 to 40 questions, and they asked me to complete it in half an hour. For someone who is really good at English, it takes like 10 minutes, and for someone who is okayish, can take 20 minutes maybe. But someone who is struggling, even someone who is struggling can manage to do that in 30 minutes. But the level of questions was easy. It was not very tough to crack. Okay, so the first part was like that, and only if you get through the first part, you will get through to the next part, which is verse and test. So first part, since the competition was really very high, it was like somewhere around 5,000 applicants. Sorry, not even 5,000 applicants, almost 12,000 applicants for one role. So for since the competition is very huge, the cutoff has to be very huge. So the cutoff was somewhere around for 40 questions, the cutoff was 36 or 37. So I don't know how much I scored, but I've got through the test. So the next round was verse and test. Verse and test was more like it again contains part. They basically test you in your LSRW skills, which is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So what they did was 10 questions are from reading. They give you a sentence, and then they ask you to read it. They test how good you are at how good are you at reading, how good is your pronunciation, how good is everything, is what they test. And then the another set of questions is based on your listening skills. What they do is they speak something, you have to remember that, and you have to speak that again. So that is how it works. I'm just pausing my video for a moment because my internet here is not so well. Just give me a moment. So this is how the second part works, that is listening. So so they give you they'll tell a sentence, you have to and you have to listen that very carefully, and you have to repeat it just after what they have repeated. mm, 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 mm. So, and then comes the writing part. They ask you to write an email. So the email, again, they'll give you a scenario, and then you have to write it with the respect to the given scenario, and it again it has some time limit. They give you somewhere around 20 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes for that email, and that is how it works. And the next part is speaking. What they do is they give you some jumbled sentences. For example, if there is a sentence called Rama usually walks in this road, there is this proper sentence. What they do is they jumble it and they speak it. They speak the jumbled sentence. So what they do is they expect us to form it a proper sentence in just 1 minute. It is actually little tough because uh, understanding their accent is a first challenge, and remembering those words is a second challenge. And the next challenge is to put them into the sentence, and again there's a time constraint. So what happens is through practice this actually becomes normal, but for a first timer or for a beginner, this will be a little difficult. For it will be a difficult thing. So uh, so what they expect is, they don't expect us to give us 100%, but they at least expect us to give 60 to 70% things. So so besides this, I applied. This particular version test is for SPS associate, which is a seller process support associate. Again, this is not a customer relationship. I mean, this is not a customer service job. Just to clear out things, because since it's a support associate, if it sounds like this, it doesn't mean that. What exactly seller support seller associate does is, there are sellers and there are buyers in Amazon platform. Mm, so what happens is, as buyers we have so many doubts, and as sellers, since I want my products to be sold in Amazon, but even I am an uneducated fellow, or I'm someone who don't know how to use that platform, I have few doubts. So I will be the point of contact for all those sellers who have doubts, or it could be anything. It's just not about how to put the products. It could be about financial things, how their money comes back, or how do they deposit the money and things. So it's about almost everything about the sellers. Okay, so this is the work I used to do. So I used to be the point of contact for the sellers who have all the queries for such things. So once I passed through this version test, what I'll have is I had a personal interview round where they kind of questioned me what was my previous job and what was the reason for me to leave that previous job. And then they kind of asked me what were my hobbies and what I did in my graduation, and what kind of they actually kind of also asked me what were the leadership qualities I possess, and how did I sail through all my BTech. Basically what happened was, in my resume there are so many co-curricular activities I have shown up, and they were kind of very curious about all those things, and they kind of asked me. So basically my point is, if you are into a personal interview, what my thing is, if you it completely depends upon your resume. If you fill up your resume with all your technical things, they might ask anything that is there in the resume. I mean, that is technical. If you fill up your your resume with so many co-curricular activities, if you really have, then they might get really interested in what kind of co-curricular things or extracurricular activities you possess, and your strengths, your weakness. They might ask you about that. So it completely depends on how you shape your resume. So I would suggest you to write as many things as you did right from your it's right from your childhood. I mean, not what you have done in your second class or third class, but what exactly I mean is, what can really uh, can make your resume different is what I mean. Okay, so you can write about your if you're good at sports, write about your extracurriculars and sports and write about your active competition. It's okay even if you don't win something, but you can actually show them that I actively participated in this, I actively did that, I actively did this. That makes people understand that you are ready to jump into something that is not your comfort zone, and it makes them understand that you really love to initiate few things. Okay, even if you are not, even if you haven't conducted anything big in your college, that's still fine. Even if you are part of anything that is small, that's still fine. It's not important how big the event or how popular the event or how big your part is. It's important for them to understand you as a person, whether this person is ready to take initiations if something comes, is what really matters. Okay, so that is what I've shown mostly in my resume, and I
Okay.
suggest you people to do the same thing. So that's about my resume kind of things. Mm, and then I have also applied for uh, not just SPS associate. I have also applied for TRMS, and there is which is transaction risk investigation, and then there is this HR management post also, which I actually loved, but I couldn't join HR management, which I was tested for. Quants also there in that particular test. I was also tested the basics of quants and stuff. So I was given basics of time and work and percentages, um, mm, uh, percentages and stuff. And then they kind of asked me about you know, the relationships and all. We have this blood relationships and stuff. They ask you such questions to make you analyze better as a person. I mean, critically, how can you think and under stress? They give you time and they ask you to solve the problem, just to understand how quick you are in solving a problem, and how quick you are in taking a decision is what matters to them most. Again, you don't need to solve you know, lots of questions. If they give you 20 questions, you don't need to solve 20 questions. What they want is accuracy. Instead, even if you solve 20 questions and all of those 20 questions are wrong, it doesn't matter. But if you solve 20 questions, and if you have 20 questions and if you solve 10 questions accurately, then there is a huge probability that you would get selected into that. Okay, so this is mainly what I was tested. And since it's online, you won't be tested in patients, but if it's offline, Amazon usually tests you more on your patients. They make you wait for so long that you feel like that this won't come at all. Okay, even it's online, I wrote my test somewhere around in the mid of May, and then I got my interview things almost after a month or so, like 20 days it took. They do this because they get so many applications and all, and at a later point of time, what happened is, since they were receiving so many mails, so many you know, job applications and all, they have kind of increased the cutoff. They have kind of not given the opportunity to someone who, see, if I'm someone who got the job but wantedly put aside the job just because maybe I'm receiving little low salary, maybe I'm not comfortable with the job role, it could be of anything else. But if I put that job away or rejected the offer, then earlier it used to be 6 months, but I'm not sure because since it's the scenario is different, since it's lockdown, since the economical conditions are not good, they're not even accepting applications which, I mean, like, reapplications are not, they're not accepting reapplications. Okay, so before choosing, be very careful before choosing your a job role. You have to be aware of what kind of job you're applying, and be clear about your salary expectations when they ask. So do all these things, because when you go back once, there is no such chance that you can get into that, at least in the 6 months, at least in the 6 months. Okay, that is because there are so many people out there who is looking for the same opportunity, for the same salary, or maybe for the lesser salary, or even they don't have the job satisfaction, they need money, so they have to, so it's they that is how this is working. Okay, So so this is how my Amazon experience was. And then after 5 months I kind of quit the job because I was not happy with my job role. And I felt it was little monotonous because I used to work in startup and I didn't had much challenges. And then after my quitting of my uh, Amazon, I kind of really got into how much was the salary, ma'am. Okay, a salary is completely depend. It depends. It depends upon the job role. Okay, since I used to earn 30K per month when I was in my startup. And then since it was locked down and the economics things were not good, they offered me 25, which I was not happy. But still, I thought, okay, this might work. So basically the reason for me to quit Amazon was not, I was not happy with my job role. That's it. It's not just about money. It's not about money, but I was not happy with the job. So when I quit Amazon, I kind of did some freelances. I used to write websites. I used to work for a technical automation company called BizGaze. I worked there as a content writer. I used to write their websites. I used to write their help desks and all that stuff. It's just not about that. I used to basically work for different kind of websites. I was almost for 6 months I was so much into content writing and stuff. And then uh, in March again, I got into Deloitte. I was work as a customer relationship manager here. So again, I got this through one of my. I have put my resume in Naukri again, and then one of the sources called me out and they asked me if I was interested, and then I. Mm, kind of gone through the job role, and I was interviewed again. As I told you again, there was no here in the law there was no such thing called a written test, but there was a screening thing which was a personal interview for 30 minutes. So they kind of asked me about my previous experiences and how I'm good at managing people and all that stuff related to job role. And that's how I got into Deloitte as of now. So yeah, this is my journey. So, do you have any doubts or what kind of things you want more to know from me? What are the things that you expect? Or okay, I got some requests I would like to see. Hmm, okay. You people have any? Okay, I got a message. Yes. You can apply for multiple job roles at a time. Um, Multiple job roles at a time, but what happens when you apply for multiple job roles is um, you have to be really I mean, see, what happened for me was I applied for multiple job roles. Oh, in a I was in a hurry, honestly. So what I did was I applied for 3 to 4 roles, and I got a role. And when I thought, okay, I won't be get selected in the further roles I've applied. But unfortunately or fortunately, what happened was when I said okay for the second job, I mean the first job role I got, immediately I received a call from the next job role that I have applied, and told that I was selected for that. And then I was like, uh, that then I couldn't escape. So you have to be really careful when you are applying for the multiple job roles. It's okay to apply for multiple job roles, but make sure that you all love all such job roles you're applying. Okay. Mom, I don't have any great network. Can you suggest any tips to approach startups? Well, LinkedIn is one of the best places where you can build your network. When you really work on your LinkedIn, I mean, like, you have to talk to people in LinkedIn, you know. uh, there you find a number of startups and number of things you find over there, and people see, when you are looking for a job role, just don't just directly go to, okay, hey, I want a job. It's not how it works. First you need to connect, then you need to understand their things, you need to sell yourself, you need to make them understand what you have, and then uh, uh, and then that is when they understand that uh, you have particular skill set, they'll immediately approach you if they have any opportunity, or at least you can tell, hey, I am so and so, I have particular skill set, I can do this well. Can you do you have anything in your mind, or job role, anything in your circle or in your company? It would be really great for me to go through the interview. Something like this you need to start. Okay, so what I feel is LinkedIn is one of the best platforms you can uh, get the network. Okay, so how to face the interview round? Well, firstly, be confident. Even if you don't know anything, be confident. Okay, so they are not going to ask you something out of the box. Okay, they don't ask you something that is out of the universe or something like that. They just ask you what there is, what it is, in what you are. That's it. Just be, I mean, smile a little and be confident. Confidence is the key. If you don't know something, tell them directly that I don't know this, but don't bluff. Don't bluff by saying, ha, yes, I know, and then don't again, kind of murmur or do such things. Okay. mm. Ma'am, I applied to one of the jobs on Amazon before 2 months, but till date I didn't receive a response. Should I wait or leave my hopes and start searching something else? Okay, I honestly ask you to start searching something else, because since I told you they have a large pool of applicants, it is really difficult for them to send, even if it's a auto generating machine, it's really difficult for the company to generate mails or generate the test for all of the applicants. When back then, when I was there were almost 12,000 job applicants. It was not even 12,000. I remember those are 35. I'm actually unable to not even anticipate, remember those numbers. 35,000, 45,000, 55,000. There are so many people out there from all over the country who are looking for a job in Amazon, because it is very secure. Okay. So it is difficult for them to produce or give mails to all of them. So that's the reason I don't suggest you to try just for Amazon. If you really want something in Amazon, ask for a referral who are already working over there, and maybe through that it works. Maybe even for them it's not 100% thing. Okay, for it might work, because one of my friends did that and it worked, but it is not 100% sure. Okay, so I would suggest you to start searching for something else. I mean, I don't want you to lose hopes, but at the same time, do search for something else. Oh, that's a good question again. uh, um, when I was in my final year, when I was in my second year, I used to dream a lot about my MBA, and I used to kind of uh, do a lot of CAD practice and stuff. But then I didn't get a desired score when I was in my final year. I applied for ISB, and unfortunately, I couldn't write my GRE back then. So I happened to get the work experience for an year. That's it, for an year. But after getting into the job, I understood how important it is to get into to get in. I mean, how important it is to have work experience to get that MBA degree. Okay, what happens? I'll tell you a practical problem. What happens when you do MBA right after your graduation? You won't have work experience. It's just the theoretical experience you have. Okay, and then MBA is again a theory. It's not a complete theoretical degree, it's a practical degree also, but it's not something that you'll hand a hands-on work experience. Okay, so whenever you are let's say you join an IMA or maybe IMC. Okay, so what happens is you have to learn, or you have to join the set of people who have already worked before. So let us say there is A and B. A has 5 years or 3 years of work experience, and B has nothing. He's a fresher. When companies come, when your both skill sets are same, obviously companies hire someone who has good work experience, because because they understand the work culture easily. uh, okay, they understand the work culture easily. So that is when you find it difficult to sail through work experience candidates. Okay, and then whenever you want to join a college, you'll see the placement. You see that word called average placement. So let's say you joined a tier 2 or tier 3 city kind of MBA, and they say that the placements are somewhere around average salary is 5 to 7 lakhs per annum, which means this average placement always maximum mostly goes to people who are freshers. Okay, so 5 lakh per annum, 6 lakh per annum, all such things are given to the people who are freshers. But even tier 2 or tier 3 colleges, when you are opting for tier 2 colleges or tier 3 colleges, when you have good work experience, you might bag the highest salary also. It could be 12, it could be 13, it could be 14. Even if you join in IMs or stuff, their average salary also depends upon see, I don't tell that entirely depends upon average salary, completely depends upon your work experience, but majorly depends upon your work experience. Okay, so this is the practical problem you see. And then, Harika, what is the perfect time to switch from an existing job? Well, there is no such thing called perfect time to exit from the job. When you find it is monotonous, number one, and when you find that your professional growth is not there, when you find that it's not happening, I'm not I'm not engaging into stuff that is exciting me, or I'm not growing any kind of skill set at least day by day, or at least monthly. I don't see any change in my professional behavior. If you feel such things, then yeah, it's time for you to change the job, or maybe change the things. Okay. Work culture in MNC and startup, it's completely different honestly. In a startup, how the things work is just like friends. It's it's most like college. Okay, startup is always like a college. You talk to people, you dance and you work and you dance, and you do different things at a time. You have more space over there to do different things, more space as in professionally. Okay, so you have um I mean, like you have this opportunity to get into a different sector. For example, you actually manage finance, but just you want to go through what exactly is happening in marketing, and you can work over there for a week or so. It's okay for that. But when you work in an MNC, it's complete strictly one monotonous culture is what I observed. Okay, if you work for something, you have to work it till the end, and if you want to change, there is a proper procedure for that. See, I worked as an SPS associate, okay, and I want to get into finance, that is TRMs or something like that. Then I have to go through an exam, go through an interview, that is the internal job portal. I have to apply for it, I have to wait, all such things are there. But in a startup, it's completely different. You can actually manage both the things, you can do both the things, you can do single thing, you can stretch your arms, but not in an MNC definitely. And especially in an MNC, there is more security. Okay, in see, there sometimes what happens is there is bullying. Sometimes it happens. There is this pop culture things and all. It is there everywhere, but you have strict rules in MNC companies where they take action if something wrong goes or something like that. But in a startup, it's not like that. Okay, they might or might not take an action for what had happened. So it is there. And again, coming to the salary, again, startups, if they're not doing good, you have to compromise over the salary also. But it's not the same thing in an MNC. If 25,000 is fixed, then they have to pay 25,000, and there is no further discussion, or there is no further discussion for you to go out or into the boundaries. Okay, I'm an MBA aspirant. Everyone is suggesting me to join in a startup and not MNC. Will there be any difference? Of course, there is a huge difference, but it does not. There's nothing. It's not a huge compulsion for. It's not a huge compulsion for you to join. Startup. Just a moment. There's not a huge compulsion for you to join. Uh, Startup just to get into an ME. It's not like that. Even if you work in an MNC, still it's work experience. Even if you work in a startup, still it's work experience. But what matters is you'll face challenges. You'll know what exact the ground level work, all such things. So it is better to get into startup, but it is not. There's no compulsion that you have to get into. So, any more doubts? Any doubts? No. Okay. So, is it a no from everyone? It's great. Thank you. Thank you, Hemant. Thank you. Thank you so much. So if you have any doubts regarding your MNC startups or anything such, I'll just ping Nagaraju or Tejaswi. They'll give you my mail address. So you can drop a mail over there. I'll be happy to respond or guide you in any way possible. Okay. So I hope you liked this session. So I think I kind of leave now, okay, because it's already past the time. Any more doubts last time? Okay, I see that it's no. So thank you so much, guys. It's a great thing that I've kind of discoursed with you and all. Bye.